Greetings and welcome once again to another weekly vault video with me, Treggyz. Let's get right into it, shall we? Here's my little reminder, my little thank you to everybody for watching and subscribing to my YouTube. I'm still trying to hit 250 subs before the end of the year. I would deeply and greatly appreciate it if you could help a guy out. Hitting that sub button if you're not already subbed. I'd really like it. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoy all that good stuff. It's kind of been another what do you want to call it, another business as usual sort of week. Got 10s on everybody. In fact, my warrior here has full mythic items pretty much. I was gonna say, wait, those are so I literally got both of these items last week from Raid, so that's a bit of a disappointment. I'm not so sure. I know that Mercurial Egg is pretty good nowadays, Blizzard buffed it a few times, but is it good enough for me, though, right now? Oh, wow, and also I literally got fucking double duplicate items, because it's tier, tier, fucking, and then, yeah. That's a bit disappointing. So it's between the belt and the trinket, I guess. But I already have a belt. It's just not. This one isn't socketed. So it's for me, it seems like this very well might be the first week where I go for a socket, just because I don't know. I'm gonna sim this Mercurial Egg. Just not expecting great from it. So might very well be the first week I go for a socket and. I don't know, socket my myth helmet or something. My bracers, I'll let the sim run out first, though, before I decide. Damn, yeah, looks like, I guess maybe I should also sim for arms, because I'm playing arms for a little bit of time. Well, for arms, it wants me to pick up the egg. Should probably, I don't know. I've never played with the trinket before. I would like to grab it just for the sake of, I don't know, playing around with it. Even though if it is kind of, it's just it's a movement mini game thing with an on use to just keep it at its current levels. So, hey, screw it, I'll go for the egg for arms, I guess. That or just a socket anyway, so I'd rather go for something a little more exciting. Excuse me. Gonna be moving on. And it's a little disappointing to get a full, 6 mythic slot done on a character, and then it's 4 of them end up being kind of the same item. That's right, Raven, I agree. DK got full Mythic Plus and at least 1 Mythic Raid slot. And this trinket's been stalking me, I think, if I remember my last week's vault right. It's got speed on it, though. That suddenly the speed makes it, desirable, because the trinket is kind of... It's not the greatest trinket in the world. It's not terrible either. It's it's a genuinely middle, a real full mid trinket. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go instantly for the tier shoulders. I'm not gonna overthink it. Sure, this cloak would probably be really good as well. 639 cloak with best stats, but the crafted cloak is good enough for now. I don't need to worry about that extra 3 eye level on a cloak. I'd rather go for big tier, right? Oh my god, you love it when you can just instantly full send. Get the item fully juiced up right away. That's great. That is very good. Yeah, more of the same, kind of. A little less raid slots, because I don't raid on my ults as much as I probably should do, but it's just a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work to raid on 2 characters enough as it is, I don't want to raid on 4 characters. That'd be wild. A lot of these other characters got pretty much just like one slot like that, which I know Gale of Shadows is a pretty desirable trinket. Is it desirable though for the dragons? It's very good for Dev at a quick glance. A Blood Mallet. I don't really feel like simming again, so I might just. I mean, I'm obviously going to take it. Just double checking if it's like. Should I be very excited or just excited? It's a C tier trinket for Og, apparently. So, I guess because I haven't really played that many casters, I've never really read the Gale of Shadows. I guess I didn't realize it like slowly stacked up. I know it's still like a pretty good trinket all around, or at least like it's a good dungeon one. But I guess it's still not quite the best for Og. So I'll still take it, obviously, because I had no other choice. So kind of just always interesting to get a different item than the usual ones and look into why it's actually good or not. It is good for Dev, but not for Og. All right, big vault for the monk. I bet. Huge. Here it comes. Ooh. Sack brood. It is pretty incredible, but is it incredible for Brewmaster? I'm pretty sure for Windwalker it's really going to be really good, but how about Brew? Well, looks like it's still A tier. Yeah, what a surprise. It's a surprisingly effective trinket, so says the Brewmaster page on Wowhead. Not a surprise. Again, the only thing that sucks about it is it throws off like my perfect, almost perfect amount of stat. Because I got like, I always have my little stat tracker down on the bottom right, and it's like I have like perfect verse, perfect crit, low mastery, low haste, and it's like, then you throw this thing on and it's like, suddenly I got a lot of haste all of a sudden, but, you know, it's still going to be a good trinket. So screw it. And even if like it wasn't all that great for Brewmaster, I'd still obviously would pick it for Windwalker, which I do play a little bit here and there. Not as often as I get to play Brewmaster, but you know, it still would have gotten some good use. Please, oh please, give me good loot. I think I already have a mythic helm on this character. Oh boy. An indestructible upgrade to my current helm. Can you guys tell how excited I am? I'm gonna save like 20 gold once in a while. And the other one is gone, so it's definitely a big upgrade. It's always just a little like, you know, it's like you want to roll a bonus stat, and it's like I'd definitely take indestructible over nothing, but I'd rather also have gotten like any other stat besides indestructible still. Because everything else is kind of just useful, and that one just sort of saves you a little bit of gold, and it doesn't, you know, really matter all that much most of the time. No, you know, no combat benefit, let's say. If I had gotten the sack brood on this character, that would have been pretty cool, because I was kind of hunting for one last week a little bit. Or at least I did a few dungeons. Like, I did 3 dungeons, which is like, you know, slightly higher than usual. So go for a Myth Cloak. Maybe not so great for Vengeance, but probably decent for Havoc, right? Maybe? I think they like value mastery over everything else. So like even if it has haste on it, which I know Havoc doesn't like all that much, probably the high amount of mastery probably makes it a little worth it. Something like that. I believe I only got one more. Only got the Mage. Now, if we want to speak in a broken record sort of way, talk about a character that I would really like either a Gale of Shadows or Arakara Sackbrood on, because this character's trinkets are bad, and looks like I will not get lucky in that regard. Myth Waste. Myth Waste. I could just go throw my current belt in the catalyst to see what I could get, or I could just run the sim. Crit and verse. Boots are also mastery and crit. I am not gonna really win on this vault, I suspect. It's like usually when I get a weird vault like this, it's like usually I angle for, you know, like my personal feeling would be like, yeah, I'll go for like this thing or whatever, but this is really kind of a real snoozer vault. And it's a shame because, like, you know, this character is still like my lowest eye level character I'm playing right now. It's like, you know, it's like there's always like the thought process is as long as I get a myth piece in the vault, right? It's like that should just automatically be the best thing every time. But it's like for like probably this is really good for Frost. I guess I hadn't thought about that yet, but for the most part, I've only really been playing Fire recently for keys and crit ain't all that great. So like it's probably gonna be this or the helmet. I'll definitely just say that, although I'm simming like essentially everything except for this crappy offhand. Which I probably should play some more Frost, so maybe the belt will be a good choice in that regard to kind of encourage me to try out the other side. I also, I guess I could have thought about like I haven't played Arcane in forever. I don't know if like any of these like oh, if it turns out versus your best stat for Arcane. I have no idea. I do not know, but maybe it's also something like that too, where like these pair of boots wouldn't be so bad. And more than likely just this, going for this, or helmet upgrade. Tiny helmet upgrade, or maybe decent. I'm just waiting for Daddy Simcraft to tell me what to do. I really do need to on my other alts. Like I can't even speak. I tend to do a lot more like keys just overall on like my main characters, like my warrior and my DK. I really do need to like deviate some time to like, because like they don't really need to have like a full vault every week. I could probably spend a little more time on some of these vaults. Alright, here we go though. Actually, even for Fire, the belt as is still a decent upgrade. I thought it wouldn't be that big because it's like such a huge flip in stat the wrong way, but because it's just like the intellect on it and stuff like overpowers it, and it's still going to be a haste upgrade actually. Just lose some mastery, which sucks. I know it's still apparently a decent upgrade, so I'm happy with that. So gonna take the myth piece. I would have been a little disappointed if it was like, no, the belt is absolutely not worth taking at all. Take the helmet. It's like, oh, well, that would have been disappointing. What I really need to do on my mage as well as like I mean, I already did do it on like most of my other alts actually. I ended up like finally cashing in my Radiant Echoes like last week on most of my other characters, where you get a decent amount of Valorstones at the very least for like doing the world soul memories that are like scattered across the new zones. These things where you like, you know, you turn in your echo and then you just like go kill like rares and mobs in the area, and you just like eventually get like, it's like it seemed to be pretty reliable, like 250 Valorstones per just doing it solo. I know my friends have recommended doing it in like a group, but I was like, I was doing it like off times when I was wanting to farm those out, so there was no groups for it. But you know, if you happen to be in dire need of Valorstones on your crappier characters like I am all the time, maybe look into spending your Radiant Echoes today. But the problem is you still need to go do delves first to acquire Radiant Echoes, so like this character would only really do like two big ones and then a tiny one to get a little bit of Valor Stones. Still be like 600 Valorstones just right there, essentially sitting in my bags. I just gotta go do it. That might be another time thing for sure. I believe that's it for me. Well, at least as far as vaults is concerned. I definitely didn't do anything on my crappier warrior. I don't think I even did profession stuff last week on him. What a shame. I feel like, I guess the only really two things to talk about from like last week is we got the like that Warcraft Direct anniversary stream thing. Kind of just gave us some looks ahead at stuff. Mainly relevant to me was like the 11.1 stuff incoming, which like I'm excited for. Like I don't know, I think it's like a good thematic for a patch, maybe to have like a kind of like a goofy goblin raid halfway through. Like I haven't really had like a goblin raid before. Maybe not like one very specifically, like Undermined will be. I'm just expecting it to be kind of crazy and fun, weird stuff going on. So hopefully it'll be kind of different. And I think my sincere wish for the Goblin Raid is that when you're doing bosses in there, it doesn't lag. Please. Whatever you do, Blizzard, make it so it doesn't lag. We don't need hundreds of spiders crawling around on the walls at all times during boss fights that, like, sure, maybe it's only like 1% extra fucking, I don't know, graphic drain. I don't even know how to, like, describe it, but, like, something about Nerubar Palace is just, like I like overall kind of liked the raid, but I think like or at least it was fine. But I think my least favorite thing about Nerubar Palace is the fact that just like it lags so bad, you know. And sure, it's probably a problem for me specifically because like I stream like every time I'm raiding essentially, so I've never actually been inside the raid and not streaming. And streaming is you know, maybe not like the worst thing in the world. It's not the most strenuous thing on like my computer, you know, I bet, but it's just like God, really is like streaming really that like much of a bad contributor to like no frames ever on some of these fights? Because ooh, so I would definitely say my main hope for Undermine raid is that, you know, Blizzard just makes it smart and I don't know, less laggy inside. We don't need like a bunch of crazy shit going on in the background, please. I just want to be able to play the game. Not having to like set every single setting to 1 and to the lowest possible thing for maximum FPS, and you know the maximum FPS at times is literally still like 20 on like Queen, you know, and stuff like jeez. Like and also no, my sincere hope as well is we don't get another boss fight where everybody in the raid suddenly gets roots on them that we have to kill. Because they've done that 2 raids in a row now, because they did it in Emirjasul on Tindril, and then they did it in this raid again on Queen, and it's like, it was a laggy mess of a mechanic before, but at least it was still like a fun pad moment, right? Like, press all your big buttons, get some pad out. Ethical pad, you know? But do it 2 raids in a row, and it's definitely kind of like an old mechanic at that point. So please, let's not do another one. At least not for a while. That would be that would also be my wish for Undermine. And I guess like another little like further look ahead is they also like teased player housing, which is I guess it's like because I've been primarily only a World of Warcraft player. I guess I've never really cared much for player housing. Like I did play Final Fantasy 14 for a while, although I never, I don't think I ever got my own house in that game. Like I understand the concept of it, but it's like I don't necessarily know. Like I'm just hoping it's, I don't know. What would be my hopes for player housing in WoW? I don't know, I'm gonna edit myself to be snappy with my replies, but it's like I'm really kind of drawing a blank because, again, I just don't really have much experience with player housing in MMOs because only played WoW, never had it. We had the garrisons, which not really the same thing, but kind of seen as a failure in people who played back then than I. So maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't be. It's gonna be one of those things we'll see. Obviously, I'm like one of those guys where it's like, to me, whenever they want to add something in like that, it's like, just don't make it be bad, don't make it be shit, don't make it I don't know, like my suspicion is that it's going to be really expensive, like gold wise, to do. Like you're gonna like have to buy like the house or something for 1,000,000 gold, and then like stuff inside of it will be like 100K, like for a chair or something, right? Like I'm expecting it to be like a gold siphon thing. So like if it ends up being like that expensive, like I doubt it would be literally that expensive, but like that's just like my for instance thinking. Uh, I might not interface with it all that much, but I guess I would hope that, like, because we have war bands now, or, you know, the same old account stuff, but just, you know, everything made far more accessible across characters, I would hope that it would be like, you know, I could just, instead of sitting here at the login screen to, like, look at my, you know, my guys here, I wish I could, you know, just, like done with the vault video, and it's like, all right, let's go home and fucking chill with all the boys, and, like, I could have, like, all my characters in there. That'd be kind of cool. That would be kind of my hope, is that, like, not too expensive in any way, and, you know, you could either have your other characters there, or I guess, yeah, kind of, I would say just stuff like that. Make it nice and cheap. Make it so you get some good customability. I don't think that's a real word. And yeah, I'd love to have my other characters, I could just, like, you know, plot my DK at a spot where it's like, hey, if I'm not on my DK, then that's where the character will be, and like that would be kind of cool, in my opinion. I just don't know how it'd work, but hopefully Blizzard is thinking about player housing with warbands in mind and not specific character in mind. That would be my hope. And I think at that, I'm ready to call it for another week. So I'll catch everybody around. I'll be here streaming later. And obviously, once again, very much would, you know, thank you for hitting that sub button. I understand if you don't, but I look at my YouTube stats and it's like, you got 4,000 people who watch you regularly, and it's like, why don't those people hit the sub button? Maybe it's because they only watch one or two shorts a week or something from me, and then they forget about me, which, fair enough. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Thank you guys again. I will be back real soon. Goodbye.